My mind gets back on this foundation day to the inauguration of lectures, but the foundation day comes in September later in the year. But the first foundation day celebrations were held in the Constitutional Club, I mistake now. And there Raj asked me to say a few words, and I say my few words not like a great introduction that you made of me. The Indian tradition is that the introduction begins by saying the speaker needs no introduction, and then the person who is introducing the speaker takes all the time of the speech. This did not happen, I'm very grateful for you, but you did manage how to briefly to indicate and to compare, to indicate in a brief time how many ways I've mismanaged my life and time. And if I had another life, I would simply not do so many bad things that I've done. So thank you indeed. Right at the time of inauguration, you might or might not remember, but Navin Jindal was there, and Raj was there, and I remember still one sentence I said then, which is true even more today, after 10 years. And the sentence was that we are seeing a Navin Raj era in Indian legal education. And I think I can safely repeat that, because in a sense, it's a new Raj combined that precisely the destiny of future legal education. And we should hold Raj fully accountable if he lapses in that task. Because this is not a traditional law. It should be satisfied with traditional research. It should be even more ambitious than it is now. And it reach out to the issues of 21st century, and clearly not just of India, because it's a global enterprise, university, educational enterprise. And I'm sure that the college, the school, law school particularly, but all other faculties will take giant strides, particularly in the field of climate change and global warming and anthropogenic harm, because nothing else matters. And the rest is conversation. Way in which law is totally irrelevant to this problematic of anthropogenic harm. And I hope that the next generation problems of climate refugees, of disappearing states, of crisis of sovereignty, of multi-level governance, name it and you have it, will attend to the problems, or else the problems will take care of surviving humankind. That's how serious the crisis is. I hope that Jindal will be the forefront of research in climate change, in global warming, and anthropogenic harm. It's already too late to do that. But it's never too late, I believe, to begin doing a thing which meets the challenges, the threats of annihilation. I call it the jurisprudence of extinction. How do we deal with jurisprudence of extinction is a major problem of planetary survival, of multi-species loyalty, and of the Mother Earth, as the Aboriginals call it. I was grilled, I was dragged, I was harassed, and I was interrogated for more than 2 hours by our teacher students and I was provoked, incidentally, on a book chapter of mine called Teaching Exprovocation. And outside this group, I don't know whether anybody else has read this article in India. I certainly did not read it after I read it. I downloaded it certainly this morning, but I was given no time to read it. So I wrote a different essay. I'm afraid in my answers to you, I apologize to you. I compliment you on your close attention, and I hope that you consider others, like legislators and judges, equally worthy of your kind attention as you gave to me. So I think this is called reading. the number of questions and provocations that arise from reading of an article. So thank you very much. Now I want to make, time is up already, I want to make 3.5 or 4 or 5, 4.5 points, and that's a time. And if there is time, I don't know what to program it, there will be some discussion. Essentially, I first of all want to say that we must all move in the 21st century in India, to what I call SDRE. That is Socialist, Democratic, Republican Education. Each of these words is important. 3 of the first 3 words of mine are taken from the preamble to the Constitution. I'm guilty of having stupid only one more word. Can't see my friends this side. Answer Russian. So hello. I'm sorry for not being visible to you, but I hope I'm audible. Anyway, you got a relief from looking at the unpleasant side. Others don't have the same good fortune. Now, coming to the point, the SDRE is extremely important. How to constitutionalize education is the main problem. You can give anti-constitutional education, human rights education, because Constitution India is 4 things, 4 antinomic things. I've said it often, I say it again. There are 4 key ideas which make Indian Constitution different from the bicentennial Constitution. One idea is, let me first say the 4 ideas. Justice, development, governance, development, justice and rights. These are 4 ideas around which Indian Constitution revolves. And this Constitution was done in 1950. It's a remarkable document in that sense. Because it tries to combine things that can't be combined. It is permanently a document which enshrines democratic disagreement, not democratic consensus. That's where my friend Granville Austin was totally and hopelessly wrong. And all of us have been brought up in the tradition of Granville Austin, who presents a consensual view of constitution making. Nothing can be more wrong. These 4 ideas contradict each other. And Sudarshan San, whom I call San, was in the Ford Foundation, and he had the misfortune of asking me to speak on a proposal that Granville Austin had made for his 2nd book on India. I don't know whether you remember it. But I said to Granville Austin, on first book, I think we're just recovering from your first book. Please don't write another book on India. Write on Egypt or Sri Lanka. Because you have now settled canonical status. But neither Sudarshan nor Granville Austin took my advice. This is why Orchik is quite right to hail me as an exponent of minor jurisprudence. I enjoy that status, not the mainstream jurisprudence. In fact, Steve is here and I will tell you, if he has not already told you, Steve, how are you? He said once, I think I get this from his writing, that there is not much distinction to be made between the mainstream, at least in India, between a mainstream and a cesspool. A cesspool is the mainstream. You can say this perhaps talking about America and United States now, with Mr. President Trump there. It's nothing to distinguish. You can say this about many parts of the world. In fact, at Bangalore, I was asked to address a university called Aziz Premji. I said, I don't go to matchmaking factories because I have a thing about match, but Aziz Premji has gone so far in the computers diversified business, like Tata. And I went there, and the entire university asked me to speak on something that they could understand. Now, that is a bit difficult. I said the task of a university is to make simple things complex. That's what society needs a university. For everything there is complexity. Nothing is as simple as it seems. Ordinary people who do not go to universities or think of going to universities sail through life by simple Kabir, who never went to university. Poet Kabir, the great Sufi mystic, he had not a university degree. He did not know what disciplines were, what multidisciplinarity was, interdisciplinarity was. And yet you read Doha, which Doha said that, and I think you might find it useful in your future voyages in Jindal, or future Jindal voyages, which is, and I first say in Hindi and then translate it, Had tape so olia, person who transcends one limit, the minor spiritual figure called olia. Had tape so olia, behad tape so pir, one who transcends a couple of limits, is a pir. Had tape so olia, behad tape so pir. Pir, unhad dono tape. One who transcends the idea of limits itself. Unhad dono tape, uska naam fakir. He is the highest spiritual being. So, how to become fakir is the most important thing, not how to become educated. When we talk of interdisciplinarity and multidisciplinarity, what are we saying? We are saying what Kabir said in the 14th or 15th century, which everybody could understand. So I think it's important to be a fakir, a constitutional fakir, as it were, in Kabir's sense, or transdisciplinary in this sense. So what did SDR means? How to be a constitutional fakir. How to understand the meaning of the word socialist, democratic and republic in India. How to understand this word? What are the many interpretations of this word? The second thing that the Constitution says, the four ideas conflict: governance and development are related, but they do not go well with justice or right. How to understand these contradictions? Nobody understood these contradictions better than Ambedkar, whose 26th January comment is quoted. On 26th January we shall enter a life of contradictions, he said. Look at what Nehru said when Constitution was adopted. Look at what Ambedkar said. Nehru said, we are fixed to destiny. What destiny? He did not tell us. Ambedkar told us. In social and political life, we shall have equality. One person, one vote. Social life, we shall have inequality. So what was the theory of contradictions? Constitution is a self-contradictory document. You can't have governance and development. Government contradicts the idea of development. They both contradict the idea of justice, and they all contradict the idea of right. And that is my first point of today's talk. I will not go further than to say on this aspect, the Constitution, believe you me, I never taught, I was not allowed to teach Constitution in Delhi University because I never imposed myself. Although I was the dean of the faculty and a senior teacher and all that. Senior, I'm now 151. I was only 30 then. Senior, not in age, but senior in, not in wisdom, as respected tribute, not in wisdom either. So perhaps senior in rank probably, higher. So I never taught the Constitution, I applied. And my colleague said, thank you very much, Baxi, for your interest, but you are not eligible to teach constitutional law because, and I introduced a form in which I said these were the strong points of myself and constitutional subjects I've chosen. And one of the strong points, I've written a book called Indian Supreme Court and Politics, which everybody now cites. Mushtik overlooked that, but the editors overlooked that. But they said to me, that's a journalistic book. That's a book on Constitution of India. I don't know, the book on Justice Matthew edited this work. They said, no, this is not constitutional. Constitutional book is a treatise on the Constitution, article by article you explain. No, I would never write that. They knew it and I knew it. I'd better think other things to do, not better things to do. But I didn't do it. So, but still, I know a bit of Constitution with this caveat. Although I have not taught constitutional law, I know a bit of it. And that bit tells me the article, part 4 of the Constitution, contains one sentence definition of development. And that is, only that development is just, program of measure is just when it helps both, disproportionately helps the worst off, constitutional have-nots. That's what directive principles part is all about. And we don't teach the directive principles in the law school. The bleeding heart of the Constitution. We didn't teach Article 17, which is also a part of the bleeding heart. It abolishes untouchability. Fortunately, Sabarimala has raised this issue. At least now, Article 17 on the eve of 78th year of Republic, we will read it. Otherwise, you don't use, there are cases on it. Cases on it. Case method, no? Do you follow case method in Jindal? Yeah? So you don't teach the heart of the Constitution. So that's where I will stop on development, constituted with justice, and constituted with the right type of, Keshanga and all these cases. I won't go into it. The second question is about justice. I talked a little about it. Does the Constitution say anything about justice? And I think it says a lot, but to cut the crap, I would say it says 4 things, or 5 things. First, it says justice according to law. The judicially unamended Article 21 is justice according to law. Parliament can take away your life and liberty in accordance with procedure established by law. Otherwise, Parliament can make any law. That is called Parliament sustained it. Justice according to law. Truth is an ethical attitude which a man called trouble, I probably told you earlier, also I'm always in trouble. A man called Mahatma Gandhi, but I'm an Ambedkarite. I can't call him Mahatma. So Ambedkar very caustically said, Mahatmas come and go, but we untouchables live forever. And that is true. If you look at forceful death, scavengers' death, despite the abolition. I'm glad Mr. Singh met me this morning. I'm glad that your school is studying scavenger death, particularly in 5 or 6 states. And that's a very good beginning. I congratulate you. Very few law schools do it. In Dr. Bhuti, in your Human Rights Center. So it's a very good thing. So, in a sense, justice according to law is a demanding virtue. It's not a bad thing per se. In Merchant of Venice, as you might know, the first lady lawyer, woman law in literature, said there was a contract for something, for a pound of flesh. You can take the pound of flesh if you do not take of Shylock a drop of blood. It was not possible. The contract said he should give a pound of flesh if he doesn't pay back the money. So he once got free. Federalism, we have studied. Jindal has contributed to jurisprudence. I don't know which Jindal, but the Jindal Steel Tube versus State of Haryana case, which is the Supreme Court. You must study Jindal law school, both in Constitution and elsewhere. They claimed the Lordship said they followed the Australian Constitution. They said, we will not follow any, it is a bit like Scalia. Judge Scalia of the United States Supreme Court. He was known as insular judge. That is to say, comparative law has no use for Americans. American exceptionalism is America is the center of the world. It has no use for other people's jurisprudence. So, our Supreme Court, and surprisingly, I think Justice Constitution, they all said, we will not take any inspiration from Australia. The whole case, the lawyers only knew Australian federal system, under which Australian Constitution there is only one single right. The right is as interpreted by the Australian High Court. Australian High Court said 100 years ago that right to freedom of trade and intercourse, from which Article 301 is the right, is an individual right, not a federal right. Australian High Court changed its mind after 100 years and said it is not an individual right freedom. It's a collective freedom of associations, corporations and states. We followed that in the state. But we said we are not bound by what the Australian High Court decided. It's a separate matter. Following the court all the way, saying, however, we have our own jurisprudence, we ask them what is the jurisprudence, i.e., it is Australian jurisprudence. That's something, that apart, that's for fun, that's for laughter. Please laugh. Mark at least. But please study that case, it's a very important case. Justice according to law, therefore, is an ethical attitude. And the great teacher of laws, a woman called Judith Clark, wrote a book called Legalism. In that book, over 300 pages, she maintained that following rules because they are rules is an ethical attitude. This is precisely the attitude that this old man, I'm in trouble about his name. His full name is Mahatma or Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi. Gandhi is a very ambiguous category in India, politically speaking. Does the code of conduct apply here? Then there is Karamchand, which was a jasus espionage serial in Doordarshan and so I can't use the word Gandhi and Karamchand. Therefore, I use the word Mohandas and Mohandas. So please don't get confused. I used, in fact, the word Kasturba, because without Kasturba, his wife, Mohandas would not have happened. But no editor of Social Science Journal accepted Kasturba. So I was content with Mohandas. So Mohandas is what we mean. Mohandas said precisely the same thing. Justice according to law. But you may disagree with the law, but you cannot help following it. Following the law is one way of disagreeing with the law, following while disagreeing. And he showed it in his sedition trial, the famous speech he called the Ahmedabad Magistrate in 1923. Jindal Law School permits you kindly buy a copy of Nigerian Trust, Law and Lawyers, M.K. Gandhi's book, my favorite. Second thing is justice beyond law. And I'll skip my learned presentation on this. Justice beyond law is one. It is simply what it says, go beyond the law. What does it mean to say go beyond? You are no further to look than recent privacy decision by 9-judge bench in the Supreme Court. Judges, the brethren fall over each other, in saying that right to privacy is a natural right. The Indian Constitution recognizes only fundamental rights, constitutional rights. Right to vote is a constitutional right, but not a fundamental right. Fundamental rights, constitutional rights, social rights, and past body. Common law rights, equitable rights, but not natural rights. It's a great development in the course of Indian evolution, that there are certain rights which state cannot take away, because this is a fundamental rights, part 3. You cannot take away my rights. But now the judges have said, as a matter of law, what? They have said that this is a right neither given by the state nor the state can take it away. Justice Sapre goes the farthest, but so does Justice Chancellor and others. I won't go into that case. But justice beyond the law consists in going outside the law. A very nice story of a person like me who went to Heathrow and had some money, but he's only one day. He calls a cab driver and says, I would take me to the courts of justice, but I will get back a second talk at Heathrow. So he was taken down and brought back promptly at 6 to Heathrow. And sir, his driver's cabby says, sir, 250 pounds. He said, what? That's the fare. But I asked you, passenger said, I asked you to take me to courts of justice. He said, yes sir, I tried my very best. I looked far and wide, but only saw courts of law. There is we don't seem to have courts of justice in England. And justice beyond law is that, going beyond the courts of law. And the court itself going beyond the court of law is an extraordinary feature. Court itself says this thing is natural right, which means the courts cannot also take it away. Because the court need to give the right to privacy. We are born with dignity and privacy at the same time as human beings. It's an extraordinary thing. But there are other examples. My friend Justice Krishna always practiced justice according to law, so far as to prescribe punishment which was not in the law, that convicts undergo transcendental meditation. He was very fond of some person called Mahesh Yogi. He sentenced people. I said, Krishna, you can't do that. Why do you do that? So he said, no, Mahasi, Mahesh Yogi, natural law, this was get reasonable judgment. How can you, just because you are a judge, you can give any judgment you like? So he said, no, as a judge, and when he retired, and I was in Chokalingam and Raj, a book on constitutional empowerment, an article which nobody reads, but it's a good article. Just because I wrote it, by the way. It's a good article in the sense it explores Justice Iyer's speech, not his judgment, in which he distinguished in two kinds of judges. He said, some judges are legal shopkeepers of justice. They are shopkeepers of justice, gatekeepers of justice, who won't let justice come in, that is justice according to law. And legal missionaries, the legal activists who want to change the law. So, justice according to law, beyond the law. Third is justice, I'll hurry now, besides the law. And I'll give only one example and move on. The so-called public interest litigation, I call it social action litigation. I'm a minority of one. But till the dying day, I shall call it social action because you can borrow the title public interest litigation of the United States, but you can borrow the labels, but you can't borrow the histories. Public interest litigation in the United States is quite different from what is happening here is social action litigation. Judges intervene for social change, and petitioners are not those petitioners who go to regulatory agencies as in America. They are petitioners who go to the highest court in the land, in the Supreme Court of India. They are not petitioners about consumer justice or television justice or things like that. They are petitioners who are fighting state lawlessness. State not obey its own law. That's why people are going. So anyway, I won't go into that. But social action litigation, which Americans, and our house is full of them, American Indians call public interest litigation. Nothing against America, please. But this is the fact of life. It's unfortunate we are suffering from a second colonization. First was when the Europeans came and settled here. Now we are suffering a different kind of colonization, which is colonization without colonizers. And we are suffering that kind of colonialism. It is quite distinct from the historically precedent one. Anyway, so it is justice besides the law. Article 21 is interpreted, I won't go into details of it. Everything is accordance with Supreme Court says this law in Article 141. The Supreme Court inventing rights, new rights, some of which were considered by Constitutional Assembly and denied, and then Supreme Court says no, it's a right, like the right to speedy trial, right to bail, right to live with dignity, new rights, new jurisdiction. Fidei petition was not there. So I called it epistolary jurisdiction. It's writing letters to judges. Judges like it. Prof. Baxi, very learned man, right? Named a jurisdiction, epistolary jurisdiction. People writing letters to judges. Judges just loved it. So similarly, they invented new jurisdiction, they invented the basic structure. They police the state. So social action litigation is infinitely varied, and we should be proud of it. So justice besides the law. There are other examples I won't go into. Justice beneath the law. I'll take a minute or two, if I have time, on this, only 2 minutes. I'll say justice beneath the law is the least studied area. By justice beneath the law, I mean what goes under the name nowadays in feminist jurisprudence as law and emotion studies. Or justice that deals with political passions, retributive punishment for Muslim husbands, years in jail, 2 years in jail, who fail to give any maintenance to their wives. It's considered gender justice. And the earning member of the household is behind the bars who will earn to give you maintenance. It's not a question in the wisdom of legislature. It may come before the court, they are ruling by ordinance at the moment. But there are a number of other matters, like capital punishment. My friend Justice Deepak Mishra, in a case from Maharashtra, his name, he said he invented an offense and he invented punishment. The case, I remember the second, he said the playwright wrote a play saying Gandhi Mera Betla. I met Mahatma Gandhi, and it was satire. And of course, we can't understand Ambedkar unless you read Marathi. Most people who quote Ambedkar are phoning. Never rely on them because half the time he wrote in Marathi. If they don't know the language, so they don't the man and the author. Even Ambedkarites don't read Marathi. I'm talking non-Ambedkarites, quoting Ambedkar. He wrote this play, and in this play he criticized Gandhi severely. And Deepak Mishra from the other judge on the bench said, this is criminal offense of insulting national dignitary or figure. And he asked the district court to proceed and punish this man in various sections of penal code with necessary advice. The heading was insulting the dignitaries of the nation. And it's an interesting case, but he cited 10 Supreme Court judgments which said Gandhi deified Gandhi. And so kindly look at it. So justice finished the law is pure political passion or pure emotion of retribution, of reformism, and feelings and sentiments. There is something called non-sentimental logic which plays a very big part in law. Particular women are supposed to be sentimental. I was asked to contribute an essay on hard and soft law. I'm an extinct international lawyer, and I said that I can't write. Ultimately, my friend persuaded me to write, and I wrote, but I paid page and a half for saying I reject this terminology. The word hard and soft will appear in single commas, inverted commas, because hard may reason. Hard law is reason law. Reason supposed to belong to male. Only males can be rational. What can women do? Women have sentimental logic. Soft law, not hard law. So I hate all the testosterone ridden phrases. I don't like it. So I explained till I discovered that some feminists gaily use the word hard and soft law and give good reasons for bringing that terminology. So justice in the law is a very important category, and I don't think very much work has been done on justice within the law in India. And finally, I must hurry and I must end. That's to follow. I write up my speech and send to you if you're interested. I should not presume. Last is justice as security. And this is achieving a great prominence. Justice as good order. Now I look long and hard at people who vote for it cross the word justice as security. And I looked at the right to peace movement in international law, what to be side. And I found the best justification, and I read victimology again, Dr. Stockland. Not human rights of the accused, but of the victim, which is coming to fore in terrorism and all that. Victim is very important. More important in due process. In Me Too also, victim is more important than the due process. How do you feminize due process? Nobody asked the important question. Normatively, there is a lot of work that remains to be done. If due process is bad and oppressive of women because it is male, all right, how do we feminize due process? Or do we junk it? That's a big question for the future, if people have time. And certainly law schools should think of feminization of law as a big problem. How to feminize the law and how to trans people law. There's another problem that arises. So similarly, so anyway, I thought I'll end this discussion here of second aspect. I'll simply say, what will I say? I'll simply say that best argument for justice as security and peace is the argument from, interestingly, from human rights. There is a human right to tranquility, order and peace. And therefore, not that in order to pursue tranquility, order and peace you can do anything. But therefore you can find justifications even for quantum of bail. Article 22 in Indian Constitution, which authorizes preventive detention, follows Article 21, which gives right to life and liberty. So there is a strong tradition, our Constitution elsewhere, of giving prominence to this idea of collective security. And certainly that elementary common sense tells you that without, in India you can talk about fundamental rights because you have some kind of order. You cannot talk about it in Syria. You cannot talk about it in Yemen. You could not for a while talk about it in Vietnam. So there is a way in which human rights are possible only when peace and security are restored. So it's a collective human right that is best certificate there is. There are counter arguments into which I will not go. So justice as a collective security is very important. And my final, and I just finish with this, I promise you, my final, it is not appeal for you not to leave if you are tired of this, you can quietly exit anytime. Dignified exit is your right to privacy in action. But I now conclude by saying that last thing. And that concerns the title of this, the second half of this talk, which I have not finished, but I will start, which says, talks about learning, thinking, talking and writing, which I call LTTW formation. Now this does not apply to law, it applies to all faculties, everywhere. What in a poor country have we done to be paid so much as teachers? To do 4 intangible activities. Learning, teaching, talking, writing. No, learning, thinking, talking, writing. Right? I'm very afraid of acronyms. So I'm afraid to be ruled. In the United Nations, increasingly ruled to by acronyms. My favorite acronym is WTO. No, what is it? UNCTAD. What does the acronym mean? I totally forget. So I said, we Indians, I only once spoke about all Indians, on behalf of all Indians. I never will do it again. I said, we Indians, it's a fine conference. We Indians, and don't understand acronyms. We talk about something called UNCTAD. We say, we understand by UNCTAD the following. Under no circumstances take any decision. UNCTAD. That's what UNCTAD does actually. I was right. I was not being funny, but not being facetious. I was right, but I think acronyms are very oppressive. And we do United Nations and UNDP only by governance by acronyms. So the idea of justice altogether disappears. J word does not occur in United Nations. S word, namely struggle, never occurs in United Nations. So it is a very strange situation. So I think thinking is a very important activity. So is learning. And I think, although some of you described yourself to me as faculty members, I don't think there is any such thing as a teacher. I think we are all co-learners. Teacher as an authority figure exists, authoritarian teaching exists, no doubt. But ideally, or hedonistically, teaching as hedonism, hedonistically you won't regard this as authoritarian teaching, as a teaching. Teaching is always learning from others. Continuous learning. Great philosophers of yesterday, the dead white mates, as the feminists call them, Aristotle, Plato, were not university professors. Kabir had no university degree. Here I tell you the meaning of interdisciplinarity from his Doha. So then you can find a number of examples. So Rumi was not a university graduate. Capacity to learn. Very often I'm asked my age. I tell you, actually it is 151. But age can be measured by the amount of pain you come across, you feel, the amount of pain you feel when you come across a new idea. That way, we are all very young. I met a number of young people who are very old, with pain by new ideas. India has controlled, there are 2 infant mortality rates in India. Infant mortality, the mortality of infants. IMF, 1. Infant mortality of children. We control it. The second is infant mortality rate of new ideas. They have gone up. And what I call, we are called millennials something, no? With millennials it is very hard. Because anything that is beyond Twitter is outside the jurisdiction of thought. And Twitter, social media is just invented. One of my granddaughter, who now is 18, who is going to college, and I liked her very much, and she did. And when she was 5 years young, she came to my house and said, "Daddy, you don't exist." And I said, "Why don't I exist? I can do any number of things to you, and you are under my jurisdiction in my house. Why do I don't exist? I'm here. I take great offense." "Don't be silly, Daddy, don't be silly. You are not on the Facebook." I explained to her, I'm not on Facebook, I have not been Twitter. It's my protest against globalization. I'm a deglobalizing person. She said, "What nonsense, you've got a cell phone, you've got a computer." So she read to my hypocrisy. But nevertheless, she did not appreciate the point. That there should be beginning points of degrowth. And Anthropocene, Anthropocenic harm, it is not growth that is important, but degrowth that is important. Not growth. And somebody once said very nicely about growth, growth for the sake of growth is ideology only of cancer cells. It eventually disrupts the body. So we don't want growth of that kind. You have to be, but that's a separate matter. So I think learning goes with unlearning and co-learning, fellowship of learning. And that, I think, is the meaning of the word fraternity in the preamble, which is fairly explored. Teaching, also, thinking. I don't think, I will hurry now, I don't think we think, and therefore we think we are. But I don't think we think in the law schools. We don't know how lawyers think. We don't know how judges think. But we think that we think. So we can criticize both lawyers and judges. Indian Supreme Court and High Court write page after page after page after page after pages. Learned counsel for petitioner argued this, learned counsel argued this. We all skip those pages. We are excellent ratio hunters. We are interested in what the court has decided. But the court has decided in the hierarchical situation. In a context. We don't think in law schools. Now, Raj has a difficult problem here, and his colleague, as to what is thinking. You don't read a case summary in order to know what the case has decided. That's the wrong start. I used to run a seminar in Master in Lady Law School, which was called How Not to Read a Case. I am nobody to tell you how to read a case, but I can tell you how not to read. Don't read it by head note. And I asked the question, what is the case? Case is judgment for the court, but the court has multiple constituencies when it writes a judgment. It addresses social activists, it addresses police, it addresses legislature, it addresses umpteen people. We never read a judgment as an intelligent unit of discourse, political discourse. We don't. So there are a number of problems. So how do we begin to think it's the problem of democratic, social, republican education? When shall we begin to think? Thirdly, the law schools present as thought that which is non-thought. In India, I'm talking about India, and I've got some experience of teaching law. And that's why I've trained myself for that teaching. Talking, dialoguing, listening to others, that's all there is. I think I have plenty more to say, but I'll stop here by, what shall I say? Stop here by saying, let us, the Constitution of India, Part 4A, there are very few cases, fundamental duties of all citizens. There is the following. It is your fundamental duty and my fundamental duty in the Constitution of India to develop a spirit of excellence. What is the enemy, what is the other of excellence? Mediocrity. But to develop under the Constitution spirit of excellence in all walks of life, individual and collective. It to develop a spirit of critical inquiry and reform, social reform. You have to renounce practices derogatory of women. These are your duties. I read the Constitution as a social contract between you and the state. And these are the duties listed out in Part 4A by 42nd Amendment. And they will continue to be enforced by various other amendments that have been aspects of 42nd Amendment have been thrown out for the fundamental duties continue. So I think the social, democratic, political education is all about how to constitutionalize education, and I hope I've provoked a few minds here I hope very much, even against hope, that Jindal will pursue this idea of what is education, not what is university. I know Raj is a passion, or used to have a very passion. The impassioned man, as I know him, a young man. But he has a craze for what is it called, global ranking. You know, all of this craze. I wish him well in his craze, but please wish me well in my craze. My craze is constitutional justice. Thank you.